So question, did you wear your hair up today for this Henry V style speech?
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Golden Bachelorette recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Oh, top of the morning to you.
Oh, thank you. I forgot the name of our own podcast.
You did? Now. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I look into the camera and I'm like, I get a little shy.
Yeah.
Cameras are intimidating. Look at all these things.
Oh, why are you making me look at them? I didn't know they were here.
Sorry. You can kind of get used to them, but whenever we start, I'm always like.
Some people are born to be in front of the camera. They don't like living outside of the camera.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people.
It's an interesting thing.
It is interesting because you're really just looking at a lens.
Yeah.
But it's a talent to be able to connect with people through a lens.
Yeah.
What is that?
Some people are amazing at it.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, they just look right into the camera and they speak to it as if they're speaking to the masses. There's no difference.
Yeah.
That's a talent. Or is it a sickness? I'm not sure.
It might be.
It may be both.
Yes.
Maybe all talents in the end are sicknesses.
Oh, Andy.
It's going to be that kind of day.
That hits.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I do think all talents are somewhat sicknesses.
I mean, let's face it, most of the greatest artists of all time have been somewhat, at the very least, tortured, if not completely batty.
Absolutely. And I would say, as someone who makes a living off her talent, it's caused me as much grief as it has joy, if not more. Yeah. You know, it's a very complicated relationship. It does feel like a sickness at times.
Art is pain.
Art is pain.
And pain is sickness. And sickness is bad. So art is bad. So it starts at talent, goes to art, goes to bad.
So talent bad.
Talent bad. Mm-hmm. Bad.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Shall we get going? Recapping. Oh, do we have housekeeping? We're pretty much still in, we are still in Ireland.
We're fully in Ireland.
The top of the morning to you. I'm still rehearsing this opera with my talent.
Yes.
And if any Irish or Ireland-based shandies want to come to the opera, I will link it in the description below.
I want to know that we have Irish shandies because, you know, shandy is an Irish word of sorts.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means or how it's used, but I know that there's a shandy in Ireland, the word. So, yeah, it would be cool to have Irish shandies.
If you are an Ireland-based shandy, let us know because we are very curious. And I've got to say, Ireland, I feel connected to this country.
Yeah, me too.
I do. I am part Irish.
You are part Irish.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
I feel like I'm connected with that side of myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I could see you sort of in old Ireland, kind of farming potatoes or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it suits me in a way.
Not that they did other things too, but that was the first thing that came to mind. Okay. And I know potatoes are a big part of Irish history. Mm. I mean, it's incredible to think about how important potatoes
I
were.
was just about to say potatoes are incredible.
Potatoes are the most amazing root on the planet.
Yes.
And
so versatile.
They almost wiped out the entire Irish population.
Potatoes?
Yeah. The Great Potato Famine. It was like, it almost took out all of Ireland.
Yeah.
Like wiped them out. Yeah. Wiped them off the face of the earth. Just no potatoes.
Yeah.
More than Oliver Cromwell. Although he did a number on them.
Can we get going?
Yeah.
It is that kind of day.
Right.
Okay, so episode 3 of the Golden Bachelorette. We are loving this show. Like I said to you last night before we started watching, I said, I'm excited. Like I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. Yeah. I look forward to it because I know that my heart will be filled.
Yes, in some way.
My black heart.
So we open with yawns galore at the Bachelor Mansion. Gerry is venting about how hard it is to get a good night's sleep because everyone is going to the bathroom multiple times a night. Yeah. They have to share bedrooms. People are snoring. We keep hearing about Greg's snoring. Yeah. Turns out Pascal is a gazer and grazer around the kitchen. He says cooking is just not for me.
You know what's interesting about this versus the regular Bachelor is that in the regular Bachelor, Pascal would already be a villain. Like all the guys would have been like, what is this? Who the hell is this guy think he is? Talking about his money, not doing anything around the house, just eating our food.
Yeah.
But instead, these guys are like, this guy's a character. Like they don't take it personally. Yeah. They don't care.
So now Jesse arrives and there's discussion about Pascal's high maintenance-ness. And turns out he thought there would be a housekeeper in the mansion.
I'll be honest with you.
I don't think he's wrong.
I respect that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm in a mansion on TV. The whole world is watching, and I've got to clean up for myself.
This property has to be valued at,
many, many, many millions. If not, like, it's probably in the 8 digits, I would say. Sorry, it's 10 million.
Yeah, 8 digits. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I was like, yes, I think it's possibly in the 8 digits.
Yeah, I would say the only time this house doesn't have a housekeeper is when they have the Bachelor.
I completely agree. And I will admit, when I first moved into the Bachelor Mansion, I was like,
yeah, we're doing this?
I have to. Well, remember, I said last week that the dishwasher didn't work. Yeah. And I was like, really?
Well, I think
this is something I have at home.
They took a cue from like old school reality TV,
yes.
like the Real World, where it's just like, you're in a house, it's over, just cameras.
It's true. And what can we do to raise tensions?
Yeah.
To annoy people more.
Exactly. It's like Survivor. It's like a little dash of Survivor.
The people who've been on Survivor are like rolling their eyes at us right now.
Or don't hold my beer, whatever's in my hand. Hold my salt water. Yeah.
No, my well water.
Well, it comes from a well?
Yeah, supposedly. Oh. Okay, so the first date card, so this one-on-one date goes to Pascal.
What's a curveball?
I was surprised. But
you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. She let Michael go. Now she needs some money.
I will say Pascal seems as surprised as we do.
Everyone's surprised.
He's endearingly flattered by it, and he even tears up in his ITM talking about how it's really tough for him to be vulnerable. That's some foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. And now on his one-on-one date, Joan drives them in a red convertible to a private jet that takes them to Las Vegas. Andy, I said, it's your favorite place.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, I have a real problem with Vegas.
Do you want to talk about Vegas for a second?
Well, I think Vegas is one of the most horrible places in the world.
Do you want to explain why?
Does it need an explanation?
You know what? We're going to leave it right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and I also have I'll tell you something else. Like sometimes I make fun of places.
Yeah.
And I feel bad afterwards. I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I just got a lot of good things about that place.
Yeah.
Not Vegas, absolute disaster.
Yeah.
No guilt. It's terrible.
Every time I go to Vegas, I'm like, no, this time it'll be fun.
Yeah. No.
That's really the art of Vegas.
It shows how much younger you are than me.
Pascal in his ITM says it's not about the private jet. He's been in many jets before. And he says, I'd be happy with Coach. And he's like, oh, wait, no. So they're at the Paris Hotel and try on different glamorous outfits and funny outfits. And at one point, Pascal opens his blazer, and I could not believe how ripped. I mean, he's 69 years old.
It's unbelievable. What's he doing? Did he get a full body lift? Is there such thing as like a torso lift?
Joan says that Pascal makes her feel sexy and visible, and it's nice to be with someone who lifts her up. I loved this sentiment.
Me too.
There's something kind of like selfish, but in a good way about that. It's like, I want to be with someone who lifts me up. Like, you don't need to rough it in that department.
No,
that
was nice.
And meanwhile, back kind of at the mansion or back in town, Gerry and Charles L have gone to a pharmacy to shop for supplies to help everyone sleep. I don't know why this was allowed.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to leave the mansion grounds.
What's going on with that?
When you're as charming as Gerry and Charles L, I suppose you can do whatever you want.
Wow.
We weren't allowed to go do
Breaking
things.
the rules.
I remember on my season, Kelly, dog lover, she had to go to an eye doctor because she had an emergency with her eye. And when she came back with a Starbucks, we were all like, we were all like frothing at
You went to the Forbidden Lands.
We were like, can I have a sip of that? So back on the date, Pascal says about Joan, she's kind, she's sweet, she's engaging, she's classy. We've got some adjectives. And now they're joined by Wayne Newton, who sings for them as they dance.
I mean, that's a big deal. Like, it's not like I don't know if I appreciate Wayne Newton, but I know that Wayne Newton is Vegas.
I mean,
he's the most famous name in the history of Vegas, except maybe Bugsy Siegel.
Okay, Andy, I have to remind you what you said when we saw Wayne Newton.
What did I say?
Because right now you're like, Wayne Newton, he's so big, he's so amazing, blah, blah, blah. But at the time when he came on the screen, you were like, oh, Wayne Newton's got to be really hurting.
Oh, can it be both? Big and hurting.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've never understood why Donka Shane in that song is pronounced Donka Shane.
I think it might be just a bastardization, Americanization. Is
that what it is?
Yeah.
That's a pretty extreme. Donka Shane?
people, you know.
It's one thing to be like, oh, it's Danke Schoen instead of Danke Schön. But Danke Shane? Like, that's going too far in the opposite direction.
When people say like Schadenfreude, it's Schadenfreude.
Yeah, but that's like a slightly more open A. Like, this is a completely different vowel.
Wow, you're really, this is the thing you want to talk about in this scene?
Okay. So the next...
By the way, you know what I respect about Wayne Newton?
What?
Wayne Newton saw the future. He said, you know what? People are going to start getting a lot of work done on their face. And I'm going to get ahead of the curve. I'm going to get all the work done like way before I need it so that they don't even notice. People don't even remember. They're like, oh, that's how Wayne Newton's always looked.
Is it?
Well,
I have no idea.
yeah, he started doing that like when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went nuts.
He really was an early adopter, I guess. Okay, so back at the mansion, we see Charles L. opening up to Guy about his late wife's death and asks him a medical question. Turns out there had been blood on her mouth when he found her, and Guy said she probably bit her own tongue when she fell unconscious. I'm actually shocked that no one said, maybe he hadn't asked anyone.
Yeah, or maybe when they did the report, it was so unimportant. They just were like, why are you?
It was so painful to think of him ruminating over that for so many years.
It's a real rumination.
Yeah.
It's like, why was he obsessing about that?
Yeah, it's more about the why of the obsessing than...
That was a really interesting choice for them to leave all that blood in the mouth stuff in. I found it, and I'm not criticizing it. I actually think it was kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting choice.
By the
show. It was very exposing, revealing, it was very different than what we're used to on this show, I thought.
Yeah, and I mean, you could tell that they didn't really realize they were being videoed.
Yeah.
You know, this is sort of like the puttering around the mansion time where you're not necessarily in a U-shaped formation, all talking about Joan. You know, they were mic'd for the day. You're mic'd in the morning, and then usually it gets taken off at some point. But they clearly weren't doing this because the cameras.
I agree, and I would go as far as saying that I think production probably asked Charles, like, "Are you okay with us airing that stuff?"
Oh, that's generous. Okay, Guy gives him advice. He says that Charles needs to stop dwelling on the whys. She had a brain aneurysm. He doesn't need to dwell on the why anymore.
Advice. Guy.
You know, Guy, I
really came
Guy, through. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about Guy a lot in this episode. And also Charles L, because Charles L, I wept 3 times in this episode, and it was always because of Charles L. Yeah. Someone said, I think in the comments last week, that like what they always cry with Charles L, and I completely am on the same page.
Oh yeah.
But something about Guy's advice here and how he handled him was really, to me, screamed ER doctor.
Oh. 100%.
Yeah.
He's just put his hand on him. He's like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. You got to become desensitized to this stuff after a while.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Well, you'll have to both your heart has to be full and empty at the same time.
Yes.
It's a tough balance.
Yeah. Charles L. in his ITM says that he's hopeful to find love in this journey, but in the meantime, he hopes to see a new version of himself.
Oh, Charles, stop it. Leave us alone. Let us just live our lives.
In the evening now, Joan is wearing, so they had tried on these outfits in the hotel, and she is wearing the dress chosen. It's a gunmetal, glittery, long sleeve, high neck dress with a keyhole, or it might have been a plunge. I forget whether this was a keyhole or a plunge. But I'm mentioning this because I have a rant to go on.
A fashion rant.
A fashion rant.
A Frant.
Yes, a Frant. So I think, first of all, this dress looks stunning on her. I do think it was the winner. Mm-hmm. When she came out, Pascal was like, this is the one. Mm-hmm. And Pascal, I got to say, the look Pascal chose for himself too was also the one. I think Pascal has taste.
He has good taste, yeah.
He does.
He actually, you know what Pascal did? He got the money, he's what we would call new money, I guess. That's how you call it.
He would, I think, say
and
it himself.
Oftentimes new money is not big on taste. That's part of the reason they know, it's new money, because they get the money, but they're not.
Or they just go for expensive.
Right. They didn't have time to build over generations, knowing what is good. They just were like, oh, money, let's buy the most expensive things.
Yes.
But Pascal has both money and it's new. And he has taste.
This dress looked so good on her. I mean, it was spectacular. She looked like a goddess. Yeah. But her hair, you guys knew I was going to talk about this. Her hair was down, which made no sense with this neckline, with the fact, the fact that I'm not even sure, I was like, was it a keyhole? Was it a plunge? I'm not 100% sure. I think it was a keyhole just based on the high neck, but I'm really not sure. It's because our hair was obscuring the entire situation.
And I'm going to tell you something. Many times when you talk about the hair needing to be down, I kind of go with it and I trust you because I know you're always right about this stuff. But I don't always feel it in my heart. I'm like, yeah, I guess she's right. I mean, probably would have been better with hair up. I have never in my life been more sure that her hair should have been up with this dress. It was so obvious.
Yes. So my rant is because I saw a comment in the last week or two, basically since Golden Bachelorette started. Maybe it was because also on Jen's season, I also went on and on about hair a lot. But someone said that it's easy for me to say, or something, maybe I'm making it sound more confrontational than
They're probably like, Sharleen, I don't mean this in any mean way.
Like,
you're great. We love you. I've listened to you forever.
So someone said that I have the bone structure or the facial features or whatever to be able to wear my hair up, and that some people maybe don't have that kind of confidence. And blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I have to address this because I'm going to say right now that I know I look prettiest with my hair down.
I agree.
Styling isn't about looking your prettiest.
Preach. Go ahead.
I am aware of this. I know I look best with like PC bits. My face is partly obscured. Like if it's like right around my face, I get that. Yeah. But my outfit right now, for example, do you think this would look better with my hair down? Like, sure, I might look prettier, but it's about an overall aesthetic. It's about a vibe. It's about self-expression. It's not just about looking your prettiest all the time. And I understand, like, if you want to just look your prettiest all the time, like, go for it. It's just that if we're talking about styling, that's not what this is about. Okay, no, I feel that people use things like that as an excuse to not think outside the box and express themselves fully. They hide behind being like, well, I don't like this. My
head isn't right.
Yeah, I don't like this about my face or my jawline or my cheeks or my whatever.
Right, it's about the fashion.
So I'm just going to wear my hair down and around my face all the time. It's like, if that makes you comfortable and make you feel your best, then absolutely go for it. But you can't say that someone wears their hair up because they have, like, of course, like, I get that a Victoria's Secret model, it like is going to look good in whatever. Okay. That's not the point I'm making. It's more that if you are not ever wearing your hair up because you're like, oh, I don't look prettiest this way. I look better with my hair down. You're standing in your own way of styling your outfits to the best of your capabilities.
So question, did you wear your hair up today for this Henry V style speech?
So my hair is actually really dirty, and I knew that I was going to wear it up in some capacity. And so I built my look around my hair being up.
Such dedication. All right.
And when my hair is really clean, I know I'm going to wear it down. I'm like, okay, I'll wear this. This is a hair down look.
No.
In some ways, my hair dictates what I wear.
Okay. You know what I think? I think hair in general is given too much credit. I think there should be a year. No, I'm speaking out against hair. I think there should be a year, once every 10 years, where the whole world has to shave their head. Solidarity. No one has hair.
That would be very interesting.
You know who'd be into that? Bald guys.
Oh, yeah. Although, would they?
Oh, yeah.
Would they? Maybe they like...
Yeah, everyone would be the same, even the playing field.
Oh.
Yeah, and then no one has to worry about it. Everyone's in the same boat. No one has to worry about washing their hair or combing their hair or styling their hair or dyeing their hair.
Yeah.
It's just no hair year. No?
That would be a fascinating social experiment, Andy.
Sundays is what she wants. She being a doggy. Eating food.
But wait, we need the actual food. The dog food. Sunday's dog food. Okay, it's not in the actual bag right now because we put it in a plastic bag to bring with us. But I mean, this is really proof that we love and use Sundays, that we brought this all the way to Ireland. I don't think it's going to last us the whole time we're here because we didn't have enough room to bring it. But what A game changer was Sundays when we were traveling. Okay, so we took a red eye to Ireland, okay, with Ruby under the seat in front of us on the plane. We were able to feed her all these meals. Like we're talking dinner at the airport, breakfast the next morning at the Dublin airport. And then we arrive here. We don't have any food in the house, nothing. We've been feeding her Sundays without needing to refrigerate this food, but also not giving her kibble. That is the magic of Sundays. You have the convenience of kibble, but the health factor of fresh human grade food.
In the past, for trips like this, we've had to literally bring an ice pack and tape it to a bag of wet food.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a nightmare.
It's been a disaster.
This should have always been around. This is what dog food should be.
I agree. So what makes Sundays so special, and yes, this bag is very unsightly, but the actual Sundays bag is very cute. We just didn't have room for the whole thing. But what makes Sundays dog food so special is it's made with 90% meat, 10% superfoods. It was created by a practicing veterinarian. Very short list of ingredients, which is what you want with dog food. But normally that would all come in a very wet package. No, with Sundays, it's air dry. And let me tell you, Ruby is obsessed with Sundays.
And I know what some people are going to say, like, what about her poops? Tell me about her poops.
Perfect.
Well, let me tell you something. I am jealous of Ruby's Sundays poops.
Me too. They're perfect.
Perfect, beautiful, glistening logs.
Yes. So get a whopping 40% off your first order of Sundays food for dogs.
Go to sundaysfordogs.com/Shandy or use code Shandy at checkout. Functional mushrooms are good for your brain. Come try fungies, you'll never be the same.
It's sort of dark. I mean, you might be the same, but better.
Better is what I meant.
Okay. Fungies is one of our newest sponsors. We love Fungies. They really have made functional mushrooms mainstream. And we're not talking about mushrooms that make you trip. We're talking reishi, cordyceps, and lion's mane. Lion's mane is their best seller.
That's my favorite.
It is?
It is.
Oh, cordyceps is my favorite.
Oh, how are you special?
And each of these mushrooms can help with your energy, your focus, immune health, relaxation. I really do feel a difference, and I was not expecting to feel a difference, if I'm honest.
No, and the kicker is that these things taste unbelievably good.
Yeah, lest you worry that these gummies will taste like actual mushrooms. No, they do not. They are, in fact, overly delicious.
They could have toned it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
Yeah, I think they went a little too far with the deliciousness of these
delicious.
gummies. And the gummies are gelatin-free. They are vegan-friendly, and they're made with clean, natural ingredients. And like I said, functional mushrooms, I wasn't 100% sure that this was totally legit. Like, I wasn't sure I would feel a difference personally. And Fungies actually first sent us product months ago. We're talking like at the beginning of summer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Long before they became a sponsor, they sent product with like the potential of maybe becoming a sponsor. And we liked them so much. I became like cordyceps became my like go-to pre-recording that we continued to buy it with our own money, even though it didn't look like they were going to become a sponsor.
No, they became family members.
Yeah. Without them being a sponsor. And then they recently came around as a sponsor and we're like, oh, sweet. We've actually been like totally using your gummies. Yeah.
So ready to give your brain a boost?
You can find yummy Fungies gummies in the vitamin section of your local Walmart for less than $10.
Or conveniently shop on their website, eatfungies.com.
And get 20% off with code Shandy. Again, that's eatfungies.com, EATFUNGIES.com, promo code Shandy. Okay, so in this conversation, first of all, this evening part of this date is very impactful. Like I thought this had a lot more substance, not only than I was expecting between Pascal and Joan, just the two of them. I wasn't really seeing it beforehand, but also more than I saw between her and almost anyone.
I tell you, Pascal has got strong game. and it's obvious. You know what it is? He's the guy who goes hunting with like a rainbow hunting outfit. He's so good. He just walks into the forest. He's like, look at me. I'm right here, but I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm not good.
Okay, so he's the hunter that doesn't need to wear camo.
Yeah, he doesn't wear camo. He doesn't sit in a bush with like some leaves over his head hiding there with a sniper rifle. No, he just walks in the forest, like total rainbow jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Big crazy glasses.
Yeah.
With a small pistol. And he's like, that's it. Whoever's in here is going to get it.
Gonna get it?
No choice.
What's it in?
It is the end. They're gonna be dinner.
Oh, I thought that was like a penis joke.
Oh, you think he's going into the forest with a gun to rape animals?
I meant more in terms of game, like picking up.
Oh.
Like he's gonna.
Oh, right. In that sense, yes. I was fully in the hunting.
Oh, wow. You're really
analogy.
committing to hunting.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we learn here that Joan majored in computer science and wrote code for many years until she had kids. And he reveals that he had a tough childhood. Money was always an issue. There were 6 of them in a room, he said, and there was no bathroom, no shower. And even his parents were not emotionally supportive. They always just told him to go outside and play, he says. He came to the US not knowing a word of English.
Wow.
And I mean, I just love it when we learn so much about not only the contestant, but the lead as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so cool that Joan wrote code
Oh, yeah.
for years. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You need a special kind of brain for that. I do not possess that brain.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that either. Would not have pegged her for a code writer.
No. It was so cool.
And that's like 80s code. It's like Pascal. Pascal, not the guy. Oh, just a coincidence.
Wow.
Oh my God, they missed such an obvious joke.
Well, to be honest, that's kind of...
Too heavy-handed.
Well, no, it's not too heavy-handed. I'm just like, I only vaguely get this.
Do you remember Pascal?
I know of Pascal.
That was it.
Define it for our younger
Pascal
Shandys.
was, and again, I'm not a computer person. Pascal, I believe, was the first language, like the first coding language for computers.
Okay.
That's what people use.
How sure are you that it was the first?
Okay, I am 99% sure it was one of the first mainstream coding languages.
Okay.
I am like 60% sure it was the first.
Okay.
If that.
So back at the mansion, the group date card arrives and it is for Chalk, Gil, Dan, Charles, L, CK, Greg, Gerry, Guy, Kim, Jordan, Mark, and Keith, meaning Jonathan will be getting that other one-on-one. I loved his honesty with this. He was straight up just like fearful.
Yeah.
Because he knew that if he didn't get the rose, it meant he was going home. He couldn't hide, basically.
This is maybe one of the most endearing qualities exposed on this franchise I've ever seen.
Yeah.
A guy who literally is upset he's getting the one-on-one because he wants to be with the guys on a group date. He doesn't want to be exposed.
He wants to kind of hide in a group.
That was I gotta say, he won my heart.
Yes. Well, immediately you're like, okay, fear of rejection.
Yeah.
And if this feels like this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like there's a reason why his immediate reaction is fear.
It's amazing. And also brotherly love.
Yes.
Part of it is you just want to be with the guys, have a good fun day with the guys,
he wanted
not
to
so much
relax.
pressure on himself.
Yes. And also speaking of brotherly love, it was so cute when Jonathan said he's worried about what Joan will see on this date. And Greg says, she'll see a wonderful guy.
Oh, Greg.
Greg's a sweetheart.
I like Greg.
I'm a big Greg fan.
Good man.
I feel like Greg was there to make friends.
He was. I think most of these guys were there to make friends.
Absolutely.
If not all of them.
So back on the date, wow, this date feels like it's going on forever. Joan and Pascal go on the high roller, which is a big
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel, thank you. And as they got on this Ferris wheel, Andy, you scoffed, ugh, Las Vegas is so gross.
There was, apropos to nothing, honestly, this Ferris wheel might be one of the cooler things in Vegas.
Joan gives Pascal the rose and they make it out. And for the first time, so this is on the Ferris wheel, they've got the view. I understand it's a very romantic setting, but they make out and I was like,
this is the first makeout we've seen. Everything else has been pecks.
yes.
Lots of pecks. Some long pecks, short pecks,
Some
medium
repeated
length
pecks, yes.
repeated pecks.
Yeah.
This was not a peck.
This was like he had his hand on her head, kind of like,
She was feeling the heat.
I think she was.
Yeah. If there were no cameras, there might have been something going on in that Ferris wheel.
Pascal, he has game.
Oh, such game. I honestly, if Pascal, I got stuck on a desert island with Pascal, I don't know what could have happened.
If you...
I might be forced. I don't know what could happen. He may eventually have his way with me.
I mean, he has game.
I got no choice.
It says something that last week we were talking about how with Joan, it hasn't felt romantic.
Yeah.
It has taken a lot for me to be like, oh, is that a little... It just didn't feel like romantic, like, ugh. And I feel like Pascal was the first to bring that out of her.
Yeah. Pascal made it impossible for her not to feel that.
He really
made it
is
impossible. He is
Pepe Le
Look,
Pew.
some people are going to be offended. I know any Frenchmen out there are going to be offended, but he is Pepe Le Pew without the downside. Pepe Le Pew had some faults.
Yeah.
He was a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
Pascal's not aggressive.
No.
He just makes it impossible to resist.
So now it's the group date. Joan says that they are being joined by 2 sports legends. And Andy, you said, I bet they're actual sports legends. And turns out they are football legends Eric Dickerson and Andre Reed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge football guy, but I even know these guys.
Yeah. Instead of football, though, it's kickball, which I would later learn is kind of like baseball.
Yeah. Kickball's like baseball with a big bouncy ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was cute.
Yeah, it's a good game. I used to love kickball. Big fan.
It's the first ever Golden Bachelorette Quaker Oats Kick Bowl. I love the sponsorship. Genius. Mm-hmm. This was brilliant. You know what was so funny about this is A, it was unapologetic. B, it kind of fit in the golden thing, like with the oatmeal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but I associate oatmeal with my grandparents.
Of course.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Quaker Oats is old. That's an old-timey brand. The fact that Quaker Oats still is like a successful company is amazing to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, Quaker Oats is a
Quaker
good
Oats
time.
is like they do old-timey stuff.
Yeah, and you know what I love is they haven't tried to update their logo.
That's their whole thing.
Yes.
It's nothing changes at Quaker Oats.
Yes.
You may get new flavors. You'll get like red hot Sicilian, tango Doritos. That's the best I could come up with. I don't know.
But I know your point. They're
getting,
not veering away from maple brown sugar, apple cinnamon, peaches and cream, oatmeal.
That's it. We're not changing the game. Mm-hmm. Nothing changes here.
Yep.
It's like The Bachelor.
Yes. I thought this was so brilliant. I wonder who reached out to who. Like, did Quaker Oats reach out to the Bachelor franchise, or did the Bachelor franchise think, what's like an old-timey thing? Oatmeal.
Honestly, I think it just came together like osmosis. Like they were just like, obviously this is happening.
I gotta say, I know you disagree with me. I love oatmeal.
I do not. Do not like it. Never have. Never will.
I want the votes. I want the votes to roll in. What do you guys think? I love oatmeal. It's comforting. You have to have the good stuff. It can't be the minute oats. It has to be like the slow cooking.
There's no level of oat that I enjoy. I will eat it in a pinch if there's nothing else and I need sustenance in the morning, but I will never enjoy it.
You don't like mushy foods.
But it's also heavy. It's heavy, mushy, and lacks a flavor you could hang your hat on. It's kind of just like something. It's not good.
I mean, to me, it's as much about the texture and the comfort of it.
Yeah.
And the flavor. I mean, it's also an excuse to have brown sugar.
Should we just do a whole episode on oatmeal?
So there is a very funny stretching, kicking, throwing segment with the Blue Danube playing. That was the Blue Danube, right?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm not remembering it correctly.
Dun, 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 dun. 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 Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. They've had enough. And we lost everybody.
What a piece of music.
I mean, that is truly that when people say, what's it? Like the music, if you had one song, you're on a desert island with Pascal assaulting you. What's the one song you listen to for the rest of your life? Blue Danube Waltz.
It's a flawless composition. Okay, so the winning team will go on to the after party while the losing team will go home. Charles L. in his ITM says, "This is my first experience with this ball." The game starts, and it was really fun to watch. Surprisingly competitive. And we get Word Watch 1 here. CK says, "So many people got hurt today." And very cute, Charles L. for his turn says that he hardly understands the rules, but was told to just play. Yeah. And the slow-mo of his kick. And it's like a little, what do you call it, a bunt?
It was barely a bunt.
Yes, but it was brilliant. It was so short that it allowed.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was his intention, but it ended up great. It was beautiful. And the camera work there, these guys know
editing.
what they're...
A-team editing. Yes. This was A-team. They set it up to make you think it was going to be a big dramatic kick.
Yes, everything is done right. Even even when Jesse was eating his Quaker Oats.
Yes.
You didn't know whether it was a joke or not.
Yes.
He did it perfectly straight, and he knew it was a joke.
Yes.
Jesse knew it was a joke, but they didn't make it over the top. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That's a choice.
No.
And it worked.
Everything is in very good taste.
Yes.
The editing, they don't let a joke go by. Like this kick. Sloppy editing or B team editing would have just been like, oh, ha, ha. It would have been like, ha, 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 what a funny kick. But the way they built into it and him with his ITMs, I don't have experience with this ball. I was told to just go. It made it seem like he was going to knock it out of the park and hit a home run.
Well, you know what? We may give it to the crew, but perhaps we should be giving the credit to the cast because they don't take themselves as seriously as the youngsters. Just saying.
And Charles L's elation after the fact.
Amazing.
He's too much.
It's too much, Charles.
Okay, so eventually the blue team wins. And so going into the cocktail party are Jordan, Keith, Gerry, Charles L, Kim, and Gil. And they have some one-on-one time. First with Jordan. Okay, we have to talk about this. So Jordan says the experience is helping them all in many ways, like just being able to talk about their feelings. This conversation... Okay, no, first, I'll go in order. Then he gets a victory kiss. He says, can I have a victory kiss? And she's like, okay. And they're like, to me, this was no. I was not feeling romance in this conversation.
No.
I was kind of shocked because I think Jordan kind of has swagger. Oh, you don't think so?
Yeah, he's got a little swagger, but there's something missing.
With Jordan.
Yeah.
And Joan.
He's got swagger, but I think he's missing that Pascal, that gear where he's able to really woo. He's not a wooer. He's more of like, I'm here and I'm kind of cool.
I think Jordan can woo. He's jacked. I think Jordan can woo with the right personality type, and Joan is not that personality type.
I think it's oil and water with Jordan.
Yeah, I think Jordan is like a real like cerebral kind of like.
I just think that they're operating on completely different vibes,
wavelengths.
And I'm not discrediting Jordan. When I say he can't woo, I don't think he can woo in this situation.
I don't think he can woo Joan specifically, and if it were a different Golden Bachelorette, he could. Yes,
he can woo. He has woo, but not for Joan.
Yes, and even their conversation, like the subject matter, felt mostly about the experience. Yeah. Like for both of them, for all of them. This is such a neat experience. Nothing there. So then we have a little montage time with Kim, and then we move on to Charles L. With Joan, Charles L says, Charles never played baseball. I love it when he speaks in the third person. It's the best. He tells Joan about the conversation with Guy. They really feel like friends. Like after all this, they're going to be friends. You know, like later on when Kim goes home, he's like, I want to be friends. And she's like, we already are. I was like, kind of, not really. I feel like when Charles L goes home, which he will, they're going to be friends. Like they're going to stay in touch.
Definitely.
When they get together, you can tell she looks forward to chatting with Charles L.
You know, I got to be honest with you. Joan aside. Yeah. I am more into watching the male friendships blossom on the show than I care about the actual romance between Joan and the cast.
I know. Yeah.
It's more interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. No disrespect.
But it was the same with Gerry's season. It's nothing against Joan, just as it was nothing against Golden Bachelor Gerry. Yeah. Like, it's so fun to watch them meet other people at similar stages in life, like anew like that. Yeah. You don't see that happening that often.
Let's face it, it's way cooler to be on the golden version of the show than to be on the regular. Not to mention, as a young, amazingly jacked, amazingly good-looking person who's on the regular show, you don't appreciate it. Yeah. You're just like, this, I'm supposed to be here. Look at me. I'm supposed to be on this show.
I agree. Charles tells her he's trying to let go of the pain he's been carrying around, and Joan is crying here. She deeply empathizes and seems to understand. And in his ITM, Charles says that Joan is a great listener, which I believe. Okay, so meanwhile,
I feel like it's going to be impossible to let him go. I honestly feel like Charles is going to go so far that whoever she picks, Charles is just going to be there at the altar, like hanging out. Like he's never going to get let go.
Yeah, they're like lifelong friends. Yeah, I feel like Charles L is going to last a solid 2 weeks longer than he should.
Oh, at least.
At least.
He may be Final Four.
Okay, do we want to place our bets now on when Charles is going to go?
Well, that
It's
that
hard
may
to
affect
imagine.
our predictions. So let's wait. I'm going to say this.
I can picture him making it to the week before hometowns.
Yes,
Purely
agree.
because of his
I
lovability.
think that odds are in Vegas, if you looked up at the board,
Yeah.
sports betting, it would be Charles 1-to-1 odds that he's going home before hometowns, right before.
Yes. But let's be honest, when you reach a certain, when you know what's up with life and with relationships, you know that it's about the friendship.
Of course. It's always about the friendship.
Yes.
Everything else fades away like so much dust in the wind.
Yeah, like our friendship is what is the reason we're together after 10 years.
Oh, you don't find me attractive anymore?
You know what I mean.
No, I certainly do. Yep.
Okay, so Joan now is FaceTiming her mom, who hasn't been well. We learn that Joan tends to be a fixer, Andy, and how she struggles to navigate and balance everything.
Yeah.
The reason I'm giving Andy that look is because Andy's also a fixer.
Yeah, stressful. Not
Yeah.
a good way to be, because when you're a fixer, everything looks like a problem.
Yes, a problem needing fixed.
Mhm.
That's a tough thing to change in yourself.
Problem needing fixed.
though. Was that what I said?
I did hear that.
What did I say?
A problem needing
Is
fixed.
that what I said?
Thanks, Charles.
Okay, so now we have a montage time with Keith. I think
Keith.
it's very notable that Keith's time was in a montage.
Yeah, but also maybe that's just them trying to fool with us.
So you still think Keith is in this?
I do.
Okay. All right. So now Gerry, she tells him about her sick mother, who is 92 years old. And Gerry says he believes in the miracle of today. Tomorrow isn't promised, and today is a miracle. I thought that was lovely.
Yeah.
She commends him on his positivity. She says she loves having him around. And in his ITM, he cries, saying that he feels noticed, like he matters.
Oh.
So sweet. And now Gil, we learn his grandmother raised him, and we learn here that Joan's mom was raised in an orphanage, and Gil adopted his daughter at 6 months.
Wow.
I was actually surprised that Joan gave the group date rose to Gil,
Yeah.
to be honest. I didn't actually find this, I don't know. It was a touching conversation,
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
fine. It's
I don't
kind
know.
of out of left field.
To me, yeah, it didn't feel romantic.
Yeah.
But I guess like I keep looking for romance. Maybe that's not what this is about.
Look at
Maybe that's the
Pascal.
point.
Just look at Pascal. It's all there.
The romance.
He's got it all. He's cornered the market on romance with Joan.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted Charles L to get the rose.
No, he should have gotten the rose.
I wanted Charles L to get
He
this
should
rose.
have gotten the rose.
In my
They set it up. They seemed like they were setting up for him to get the
I
rose.
think Charles L to get a group date rose he would be so happy.
Oh my God.
I wonder if she doesn't want to lead him on in that way.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's possible.
That's a good point.
Okay, so back at the mansion now. The guys are getting massages. They're allowed to leave the grounds and go
Yeah.
shopping. They're getting massages.
Oh,
What
what's
is
going on?
this?
What is this?
They're
It's
getting
the Wild West.
special treatment.
Yeah.
Guy is unapologetic about going commando in his massage. He says the gluteus is just another muscle.
100%. It's actually the biggest muscle in the body, I believe.
Really?
I think so. I think the glutes are the biggest muscle in the body.
I would think you might be right.
Not
about
on
that.
me, but on some
No,
people.
not on you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got no glutes.
your glutes are so cute.
Yeah. My glutes, I honestly, when Ruby stands up, I look at her and I'm just like, that's my glutes.
Yes.
That's my butt. That's
Yeah.
what I look like.
Your glutes just serve the purpose of connecting parts of your body
it's
together.
like a Lego piece.
Yeah.
I have to have glutes to connect legs to upper body.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
don't do anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with him. Whenever I get a massage and they're willing to go there, I always feel awkward asking
Yeah.
for the glute part, like with an elbow, but I always want them to.
Oh yeah.
It's a good time.
So you have to go to a happy place though. It's like a
Yeah.
religious experience.
Yeah,
It
you have-
hurts so much, but it also feels so good. It's a very interesting thing, massage.
Yes. Yeah.
Very unique. Can you think of something else that hurts so bad but also feels so good? Other than love. That's more emotional. I'm talking about physical.
No, you're making a
Physical.
good point.
Yeah.
I can imagine some real like workout fiends might feel that way.
Oh, that's true.
I've never reached that
That's
point
true.
though, to be
Yeah,
honest.
to
Like
feel
that
the
runner's
burn.
high. Yeah.
Feeling the burn.
I've never gotten there.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry
don't
to
think we
say.
ever
I
will.
wish.
No, we won't get there.
So now Jonathan has his one-on-one Going into it, he says he's afraid of this date. He's going to be totally exposed. And now we get word watch 2. Jonathan says, I think it's a defense mechanism of being hurt in the past. They go horseback riding, even though Joan isn't a fan of horses.
She got bit by a horse?
Yeah.
Who gets bit by a horse?
I don't know, but that would hurt.
You get kicked by a horse.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the chompers on a horse.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a horse bite anyone? Have you ever even seen it in a movie?
Well,
Horses don't bite people.
I don't think she's lying. I think she
What did Joan do to that horse?
Are you blaming the victim, Andy?
I am.
Okay, so back at the mansion now, Kim has written a song and wants everyone to learn and sing it.
Oh, Kim.
Okay, this was cute.
It was cute.
This was funny.
It was funny.
This was very good. And also the closest thing we got to tension. And isn't it interesting that last week, the closest thing we got to tension was with Kim as well.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about how Kim is from Seattle. And the sense of humor thing. And how when you said this, Andy, about Seattle 2 episodes ago, 2 recaps ago.
A lot of people chimed in.
A lot of people who had spent time in Seattle chimed in to agree with you.
It actually made me feel seen because I thought maybe I was imagining it or just being a jerk.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
No. It turns out, yeah, the sense of humor is such a specific thing. But yeah, like when you would make a sort of off the cuff remark at the checkout at the grocery store, you would just be met with a blank stare.
Stares, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to question my own relevance.
And I think it's interesting that Kim lives in Seattle. I don't know. I just think it's connected somehow.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Well, they're too busy taking in nature.
That's true. I believe it.
So the guys are wonderfully unenthusiastic about Kim's song, and Gerry, bless his heart, speaks up and directly says that it's Kim's song. It's not theirs. I was impressed with Gerry.
That was, you know what
That
Gerry
took balls.
is? Gerry is a guy who is direct.
Yes.
And he does it in a way where you just can't, what are you going to do? You're going to fight with Gerry?
Yeah. Well, because he's not confrontational. He's just honest. He was gentle.
God, you know what? It's so refreshing to see that. It's refreshing. I'm also jealous. I wish in situations like that, I could be Gerry.
Yeah.
I want to be more Gerry when I feel someone's doing something annoying. You know what Gerry is? He is not passive aggressive.
You're right. He's direct. And he's not aggressive either. He's just direct.
He's just like, this is
how I feel. He shows you how to be. The way Gerry went about this was just the way one should do this.
Yes.
It was objectively accurate. Like, I know you could say it's subjective how you should handle a situation like this, but no, a lot of people, probably myself included, would just end up doing it and be grumbling on the inside.
Well, you know what he did? He made Gerry made Kim feel both good and understand the message at the same time.
Yes.
He's like, this is your song. Like, this is a good song. This is yours. You own this.
Yeah.
Use it.
It doesn't represent
This is not
us.
ours.
Yes. There was a great shot actually when he was singing it and we see everyone's face expressions. Yeah. I think my favorite might have been Jordan's. Yeah. He was like,
like, what did I sign up for?
I wrote, Kim takes himself too seriously.
It's almost endearing.
Yeah, it is endearing.
Yeah. And look, honestly, when push comes to shove and you're in a bad situation, that taking yourself seriously is beautiful.
It's a good
There's
time.
no one else I want in that house by my side in a bad situation other than Kim.
He is fixing the carburetor.
Yeah. What I would like is on that desert island where I'm with Pascal listening to Blue Danube Waltz.
Yeah.
I want Kim to be like in a cage, and anytime we need Kim, we just release her.
To protect you.
Yeah. Like, oh, we need wood, or we need to build a boat, or we need to fight off this boar that keeps attacking us. It's Kim. We unlock him.
He's holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
He's that contestant you keep around on Survivor on your tribe.
Yeah.
You don't vote him out because he's catching fish, he's making fire,
Yes.
he's building the shelter.
He's the classic guy you don't really enjoy hanging out with until you're suddenly like, I don't want to be with anyone on earth except Kim.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. And I mentioned carburetor again just because carburetor, it's a word.
It's a word.
Just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it's not a word. Google it.
It's one of the greatest contributions Canada ever made.
Ha ha ha. I just think it's very American when people are like, I haven't heard of it, so it doesn't exist. Okay, America.
Me.
America. Okay.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. When you're out of the country and you need some grub, you can't have Factor That's the rub.
That is the rub when you want some grub and you can't have Factor. Let me tell you, while we're in Ireland and we cannot have our Factor, which is freshly prepared meals, never frozen, delivered to your door, they're ready to eat. All you have to do is heat them up. What I wouldn't give for Factor here. In fact, yesterday I had an hour and a half off between rehearsals and I came home, had to cook for myself, quickly eat, and then go back to my next rehearsal. What I wouldn't give to just open the fridge and see,
You know what?
Never mind. Never mind. Okay. But just see, you see the Factor, you see the meals, and you're just, instead of thinking, oh, what am I going to eat? You're like, ooh, what am I going to eat?
Well, you know what Factor has taught me is the distance does make the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
I was starting to take Factor for granted.
I think I was starting to take it for granted too, because I got a little used to the So Factor, on top of being unbelievably convenient and freshly prepared, like we said, never frozen, it's also dietitian approved, and they take all sorts of diets into account. So if you are keto, let's say you are vegan, let's say you are watching your cals, and these meals, they have the restaurant taste. You've heard us talk about the restaurant taste. If you are a work from home, let's say you WFH.
Nice. Is that a thing? Or is that your thing?
I've seen it written.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But let's say you work from home, you don't have time to cook, maybe you're just lazy, you don't want to, you don't have the ingredients on hand. It is life-changing.
WFH is more syllables than work from home.
So head to factormeals.com/Shandy50 and use code Shandy50, that's Shandy50, to get 50% off your first month and 20% off your next month.
Again, that's code Shandy50 at factormeals.com/Shandy50 to get 50% off your first month and 20% off the following month. So, Sharleen, we did not bring our Huel to Ireland.
No. Well, that would have been crazy. Can you
That
imagine if
would
we
have been
packed
a
a bunch of
crazy.
energy
have
drinks?
a suitcase just of energy drinks. And like, sir, you're going to have to come with me. But we miss our Huel.
Yes.
On long treks. Sometimes in the middle of a trek, I'd like to have a few gulps of Huel. And what
Yes.
do I have? Water.
Womp, womp.
Yeah.
So Huel, one of our newest sponsors, is an energy drink, but I love this. They have 133 health benefits in there on top of the 200 milligrams of caffeine. And I said this in our last Huel ad, but I will say it again. I was not in the market to advertise an energy drink.
Nor was I.
I really wasn't, but we said, okay, sure, we'll try it. I had heard of Huel. I had seen it kicking around stores. You know, like I've seen it. It's a famous brand.
It's famous. It's actually in Ireland.
Yes. And when we received Huel, we were like, okay, energy drink, sure. And then we tasted it and we were like, oh, this is tasty.
Blue
we really like the
raspberry.
taste. In fact, I had a big reaction to the blue raspberry.
Yeah. I was waiting to see because I liked it. And I was like, well, Charlene's the final test. If Sharleen says no, it's a no.
But then we tasted them. We felt the difference. 200 milligrams of caffeine is no joke. And their flavors are just so on point. And you get that like kick. It's just a good product. And so here we are.
And in the past, I have been an energy drinker at times.
Yes.
And
an energy drinker. You like drinking energy?
I like drinking energy, yeah. And how many energy drinks have 133 health benefits and 27 vitamins and minerals?
Right? I mean, that's a nice bonus. We're talking ingredients that support your immune system, your cognitive health, your well-being, your hair, skin, and nails. I mean, most energy drinks do not also do that.
So take the leap and join the community of Hueligans.
Get 15% off with code dearshandy at Huel. That's HUEL.com.
Unlock a healthier, easier way to fuel your day with Huel.
Nutritionally complete energy in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. Okay, so back on the date now. Jonathan says being in the country like this makes him embrace the Native American side of him, specifically the symbol of the turtle. And he says, just like the turtle, he uses a hard outer shell to defend what's inside, the soft part inside.
You know, turtles, I just have to take a moment to pay respect to turtles.
Incredible creatures.
Turtles have been around in almost the identical form they are now. Some the identical form since the dinosaurs. Since the beginning of the dinosaurs. Not like at the end. They were there when the dinosaurs came around.
Amazing.
And
Yes.
turtles breathe air. Yet they sleep underwater.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine taking a deep breath and be like, I'm going to go to sleep. I'll see you later.
That's amazing.
Turtles are absolutely amazing. They need to be protected. I'm not going to get on a soapbox about this, but we got to look out for the turtles.
I agree.
It's history.
Yes.
It's where we came from.
Yes.
Somehow we probably are related to turtles.
Oh, Andy, I love your love of turtles.
Yeah.
Of animals.
Animals are great.
They really are the best.
The best.
What's better than an animal?
I was really thinking of it. I can't. Nothing is.
Nothing.
A good tree is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, a good tree.
Yeah, but
Or like,
usually an animal.
I do love a good body of water, but partly because of the animals that inhabit it.
There's no anything without the animals.
Yes.
It would just be
it would be sad. Like a good tree, like a forest without animals in it would be sad.
Do you know what Earth would look like if animals never existed? And that includes bacteria, of course, but bacteria did seed the whole planet with oxygen. You know, without bacteria, there's no humans. But anyway, the point is that without animals, the Earth is a boiling cauldron of hell. There's nothing here. It's nothing. It's just no oxygen, no air to breathe. The sky is probably like some weird purple UV color. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
Rocks, just jagged rocks, misery. So we got to thank the animals.
Yes.
Mainly the turtles.
Okay, here we get Word Watch 3. Jonathan says, there are times I've been hurt. I've learned to withdraw and protect myself. Okay, so Jonathan reveals now how his wife had asked for a divorce. It sounds like it came totally out of the blue. He was just asked one day, or just told one day rather. And him packing his suitcases for this date made him cry. Like it kind of felt like a PTSD in a way. Like
I could totally feel that.
Absolutely.
You got totally blindsided.
Yeah. He said he's always had a feeling that he isn't enough. And I feel like this even tied in last week when he talked about having finally gained up the courage to ask a girl at his school to go to prom.
Right.
And then she backed out.
It's been going on his whole life.
Yes.
And what is more, I am not enough than I don't want to go on the date. I want to go on the group date.
Yes. I don't deserve a date because if I have a date, she's going to see how unworthy I am.
She's going to see me. And I know what me is, and me is not worth anything. Oh, Jonathan,
he wanted to hide in the crowd.
We got to root for Jonathan.
Oh, I mean, how could you not fall in love with this man?
And he's living in I'm going to get this. Oakland, Iowa. Joan
tells him she looks at him and sees so much. He has let the lousy things stick with him instead of the good things. She says he is enough. The more they connect, the more she wants to know. I thought she handled this so beautifully. Yeah. She gave him the pep talk that he deserves and needs, frankly. Yeah. She gives him the rose and they hug in the distance now. I feel like this is when you get these moments of intimacy, is sort of like when it's kind of in the distance. Yeah. And they hug. I don't know, something about this made me laugh. You hear him like whisper to her, I really, really wanted to hold you. And she goes, mm-hmm. I don't know why that made me laugh. Okay, so as they ride their horses back, she sees hawks flying overhead, and then in her ITM, she says that hawks remind her of John, her late husband, and when he died, a hawk would always fly by the window, and her daughters would say, oh, that's Dad. And she gets emotional thinking about him, about her sick mom at home, and how she's pushing these big feelings down. She feels them bubbling up. So now the rose ceremony cocktail party. Going into it, Joan in her ITM says that she's become so good at putting her own feelings on the back burner that she doesn't know how to bring them forward. I think this is all very relatable.
Yeah, very.
When she talks about being a caretaker, about, putting other people's feelings first, and she doesn't even know how to prioritize.
Doesn't have the tool set.
Yeah, or to be vulnerable. There's no time to be vulnerable. She's just support.
You can feel it.
Yes. And I actually think, I'm really happy that we saw this side of her come out, because I actually, for the first 2 episodes, I found myself actually craving that. The word vulnerable is really overused, but I was craving that vulnerable side of her, to be honest, because she was so like together, which I think is a very female thing to do, to be honest. I think a lot of women do this, but I think that the way she gave the speech at the top of the cocktail party, like, and you just felt her just be so honest, even though it wasn't necessarily like the right thing to say. It just felt like a masterclass in what so many of us should be doing.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think along with that vulnerability will come playfulness that I think we've been missing as well.
I agree. I think that she's holding up. She's like the pillars. She's holding everything up. And I think letting go, I don't think it will come crashing down in the way that she believes it might.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So Joan greets the men, takes a sip of wine. I like this.
She loves wine.
Yeah, but this was also relatable. She was like, I just need a sip of this.
Yeah. She's just like,
And she says that in her life, she's the caregiver. They're being so open. She wants to take care of them.
Yeah.
She her instinct is to care for them. And you've seen this, I've seen it in these
she's
conversations. Yes. It immediately goes to how can I make you feel better? How can I care for you? She realizes she's not really sharing herself. She needs to become vulnerable. She says she misses her family, her kids. Her mom is 92 years old and sick. She says people keep asking her if she's ready to have love in her life. And to be honest, she's not 100% sure she ever will be. She says she wants to get to 100%, but it really just might be 90%. And there will always be a part of John in her heart. This was just so touching. I mean, I have, what else can one say?
What can you say?
Yes. And they've used this a lot in the previews, but what I liked is that they actually didn't make it suggest something that she hadn't said.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not 100%
no,
sure
is what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what it was.
Yeah.
And after her speech, there's a lot of muttering.
Yeah, it was some prize-winning muttering going on.
Andy, you said, that's a heavy mutter. Well, and it's all thanks and understanding. No, we totally understand.
It was all staggered. It was just like,
it was
thank you. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's great. Oh, we love you. Yeah.
It reminded me of being in an opera on stage when they're like, okay, now talk amongst you. You need to have that sound of chatter, of muttering. And so I always go watermelon, watermelon, watermelon.
Oh, watermelon, yeah. Is that an opera trick? That's the word?
Well, watermelon sounds like if everyone's going watermelon.
Yeah, your mouth is moving all different ways.
Yeah, do it together. Everyone's going to hear muttering.
Yeah, watermelon. It's good.
Okay, so first we have one-on-one time with Chalk. He says he's proud of her. I thought that was nice.
That's nice.
He's proud of her.
By the way, I forgot to mention this, but Chalk did in episode 1 remind me a lot of the football player.
Have people been mentioning it in the comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a name.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forget his name.
You can do it.
With
the Jeopardy song
everyone's
help?
yelling at me. This is the question. Can I hear the yells coming from the future outside of these walls?
Okay, try.
So I'm looking into the future. I know people are going to be yelling.
Uh-huh. They're in their cars yelling at you right now.
I'm going to hear them. Okay. I'm in the future. I'm outside of the walls. I'm in someone's home yelling at me. They're yelling the name of this football player. And, I think I can make it out. Wait. Peyton Manning.
Yeah! Are you sure?
Yeah, it's Peyton Manning.
Okay.
He reminds me of Peyton Manning.
Okay.
And a lot of people said that. It's true.
He looks like him or sounds like him?
He sounds and looks like, if I think of Chalk, now I can't help but think of Peyton Manning in my head.
Okay. I'm sure he's gotten that before. Yeah. Chalk reveals he understands the mother's situation. His mother has been in stage 4 with cancer for 4 years. And we learn here that she lost her father 3 months after she lost her husband.
Oof.
He says he wants to make sure she does still want to meet someone, and she assures him she does. They agree their memories should be celebrated. He says if she ever wants to talk about anything, he's there. And Joan in her ITM says that John was a fixer. If he saw her unhappy, he would jump through hoops to make her happy, and she sees that quality in Chalk.
I also see that.
Yeah. I mean, Chalk feels like one to watch. It's that preview that keeps throwing me off. Okay, we'll get there. So now Gerry has time. Turns out he has written a prayer for his mother and framed it and given it to her.
Isn't that nice?
This is another
Gerry.
Friendship.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine this
How
going
could she
romantic.
not be friends with Gerry after this?
Yeah, they're friends.
If anyone gave me a framed prayer, what are we going to do?
Specifically.
Unless you didn't ask for it at all. Unless you were just suddenly that you didn't know this person, they gave you a framed prayer. That would be weird. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that
a
is
framed
interesting.
prayer from a stranger is like, you're like, whoa, stay away from me. A framed
Yes.
prayer from a friend is like, you're going to be my friend
Yeah,
now.
even if you're not really a religious person, if it's from someone you know, like you know the intent and like you had context, basically.
Well, it's non-human behavior. It's antisocial behavior to be that intimate with someone you don't know.
Well, and it feels like you're pushing something.
Yeah.
It's like you're handing out flyers for something.
It's not human.
Yeah.
It's like if an animal stares another animal in the eyes in the wrong way, it'll attack it. It's like, that's not what animals do. You don't do that.
Charles L. now, he shows her a photo of his late wife and he thanks her for saying what he could have said about himself in that speech. I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. And then he says, when you are ready, Charles will be ahead of you. When you are not ready, Charles will be behind you.
No.
This was so beautiful. It really sounded like a Chinese proverb.
I think Charles should write a book of proverbs.
I mean,
all
the Chinese,
involving his name.
I'm going to say right now, no one writes a proverb like the Chinese.
Nobody.
My mom out of nowhere will be like, proverb. And what's funny too is that they don't always translate exactly, but the meaning is there and the truth is it's so distilled.
Well, the amazing thing is people think of proverbs, they think of like the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, but the Chinese were writing proverbs when the ancient Romans and ancient Greeks weren't even a twinkle in their mother's eye.
They have the proverb department down
cornered.
Cornered. Yes. I don't even know if this was a proverb. It just sounded like a proverb.
I feel like there was a time like maybe 3,000-4,000 years ago when Chinese people only spoke in proverbs. Like there was no actual conversation. It was just like everything they said was a proverb.
You know what I love about Chinese proverbs too is that Chinese people who were raised with proverbs, is they have them at the tip of their tongue all the time.
Yeah.
It's sort of like being able to sit down at a piano and just like play a song. Like you have that ability. It's always front of mind. Like my mother will just out of the blue. I've lived so many years and suddenly she'll be like, oh, it's like that Chinese proverb. I'm like, you've just had that?
Yeah,
in your mind all these years? I've never even heard that one. And I've heard all these others. Like they just have them. It's incredible. I'm jealous.
Bottle that's half empty makes the most noise.
Yes.
Thank you, Shaman.
Yeah. It's true. Okay, so now Gerry, Golden Bachelor Gerry, arrives. I don't know why they did weird music for this, but they can't help themselves.
That was a little cheap.
They sit on the same bench where she left his season. They relate over the experience and wanting to celebrate their late spouses' lives. And Joan says that she's more scared to be vulnerable than she was when she was younger. He gives her the advice to let go because otherwise it'll warp her decisions. I actually thought this was good advice.
Yeah.
To be honest.
He's good.
Yeah. I mean, Gerry gets a lot of flack, but...
Gerry is a good teacher.
Yeah. I think...
Love him or hate him. He knows what's going on.
Yeah. This is a man who's comfortable in front of a camera. Can I just say?
Oh, God. Where did they get Gerry from?
His face is just so open. He's just like...
What happened? How did they find this guy? I think the whole franchise exists because they found Gerry. Yeah. They built it around him.
And then he asks the famous question that they've used in the previews. Have you considered the possibility that your guy's not here? I almost feel like he was told to ask this question.
100%.
Because it didn't even feel like that
came out of nowhere.
Was appropriate. Yeah, it didn't feel like he even meant it in a certain way.
No.
And
he took a beat too. He's like,
yeah. I mean, Gerry's a professional.
100%.
Overall, this was actually a really nice conversation.
Yeah,
I often find these kind of BS.
Can we talk about how good Gerry looks?
I mean,
it's unbelievable. I don't know what he's doing, but it's good.
He's doing something.
Yeah,
but I mean, he looks amazing.
Looks great.
Yeah, he does.
Good canvas.
I often find these conversations with former leads to be really like, ugh. Yeah. Okay, eye roll. Let's get on to the good stuff again. But I actually thought this was a sort of genuine and timely conversation. Like it suited where she was right now.
I agree. Cameos on this show, usually I'm like, ugh.
Yes.
This one I was not, ugh.
Yeah.
And a lot of people probably were, ugh.
Well, because I think some people are just ugh about Gerry in
general.
People
just they've written him off.
Yeah, but I don't think we're ever going to really...
No, we'll never know the whole thing.
Yeah, I also just don't think we're ever going to be 100% anti-Gerry.
No, can't be.
No.
Can't. Sorry.
Gerry, you can't have all that and nothing, no like chatter off on the side.
Yeah, you got to have imperfection.
Yes.
Who wants, I don't want to know a Gerry that's all Gerry.
You have said before that Gerry, like you were worried about there being bodies under the floorboards.
And there may be. And that gives him depth.
Okay, so back to the cocktail party. Kim and Guy sing Kim's song. We are the mansion men. Something mansion men.
It's a decent song.
Yeah.
You can imagine him singing that on a boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what Guy is? Guy is an emergency room doctor. And there was an emergency here. And he came to fix it.
I love Guy.
I agree.
Out of all the men, all the guys,
he's the guy.
it was a guy. He's the guy. He was there singing with him. You think
What a
he
good sport.
wanted to? He's
What a
such a
good
good sport.
sport.
That is sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Good sportsmanship.
He saw there was a crisis. This guy got wheeled in. He's like, what are we going to do with this? I got this.
He had love for Kim. He set aside his own. I don't want to. That's the vibe you got on, when Kim said it's our day off. Remember, he said it's our day off. Everyone's just eating and lounging, and then they don't want to learn a song.
No, Guy's like, you know what Guy did? Because Guy, he's got to make snap decisions. He sees a patient come in. He's got, this is the problem. We got to do this. We got to do this. He saw Kim. He saw the future. He's like, well, this is what's going to happen. Kim's going to sing this song alone to Joan.
Which doesn't work.
And it's going to be a disaster.
Oh, it's sad.
And he said, I've got to help, but no one else is. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. I'm here to save lives.
How cute.
And he didn't save his life in the end. Ironically, he stayed and Kim left. But he tried. He tried.
I just thought it spoke to Guy's character.
Yeah.
That he was the only one doing this with him. We are the mansion men. Ooh. You can't sing this alone. And the more of them there are, the better the song is.
He would have had to sing, I am the mansion man. And then it would have sounded like a horror movie.
Jordan gives her black and white cookies. Sandy, you were right.
I was right.
You were
black
right.
and white cookies.
Yes.
Giveaway.
Yes.
I mean, those are great. Who doesn't like a black and white cookie? But we differ. You and I differ on which side is better. You like the white side.
I like the white side.
I don't understand why.
I'm going to be honest. A black and white cookie, I always want a black and white cookie to be better than it actually is.
Wow.
I'm sorry. And I like a black and white. I'm not going to turn down a black and white cookie.
Sacrilege.
We gave out really good black and white cookies at our wedding, actually.
Those
as part of the
amazing.
wedding favors. We got them from
William
Greenberg.
Can I tell you
Shout
what
out.
I think the problem with black and white cookies is?
What?
It's too big. I think a black and white cookie should be bite size, and then you'd be happy. You have one bite, like a tiny little black and white cookie, like we had at our wedding. That's the amount of black and white cookie you need. Any more than that, it gets redundant.
Yeah. It's the flavor of a black and white cookie is kind of like...
It's good. It's cake.
It's
cake
cake.
meets cookie.
Yeah, but it's not as well executed as cake. The frosting's wrong. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. It's not my first choice.
I feel like I was deceived in this relationship. It came on very strong with black and white cookies.
Okay, Guy gives Joan a prescription. He says, you need to take lots and lots of bubble baths.
No. I guess
This is cute. Okay. It was cute.
It was cute.
We're all watching Guy still. Okay, so now we have our rose ceremony. So going home are CK, Greg, and Kim. And on his way out, Kim says, I would like to be your friend. And she says, we are. And then he goes and kisses her on the lips.
He's like, you know what kind of friend I'm talking about.
And in his departure, ITM Guy joins him. He interrupts his ITM to hug him, and they sing their song, Goodbye.
That's cute.
Honestly, this just makes me love Guy.
Yeah. What's not to love?
Okay, Andy, that brings us to your A game. Who is your winner?
Really? Do you have to ask me this question?
No, but I have to because it's a segment in our recap that we are currently recording.
Okay. Pascal.
Okay.
Pascal is the winner.
Do you need to explain?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, so moving on to Word Watch. There were 3 hurts. There were some plural hurt, or not plural.
There was a plural hurts.
No, that's not plural. That's present tense. Wait, what is that? It's like it hurts when blah, blah, blah.
I don't know what that is.
What is that called?
It hurts. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, there
Someone
were
knows.
some
We're going to
hurt
get
with,
the answer.
Yeah. There were some hurt with an S at the end.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? You just can't explain
No,
your native
it's
language.
The state of feeling hurt. It hurts. It always hurts. It doesn't just hurt now. It hurts all the time. Hurts means it's like it's always
You
hurting.
can say it hurts right now.
Yeah, that's true.
What is that called? Isn't that like present?
It hurts.
No? Okay. We'll move
It
on.
hurt. It should be just it hurt.
Yes.
That's the way it should be said.
I agree.
It hurt.
Yeah. Okay, let's just make it so. Okay, and our winner is Tamara Serrao Leva. I
think you got that.
I hope I'm saying that correctly. Congratulations. You are the winner of $200 to spend at fastgrowingtrees.com, one of our all-time favorite sponsors. Yeah. You get a tree, at least, possibly a tree and some other stuff. So congratulations. Please email us by this Monday at midnight to claim your prize, your fantastic prize. And Andy, what is the word for next week, meaning episode 4?
Okay, the word is Charles. But the word has to be said by Charles.
Okay, so it's Charles L. saying Charles.
Correct.
Okay, so only Charles.
Only Charles.
Okay, but here's a question. Oh, wait, actually CK left, so it's unlikely that he would be talking about Charles K.
There's no other Charles left.
Okay, so it's basically Charles speaking in the third person? Yeah, in the third person.
Yeah, referring to himself in the third person.
Okay. All right. I love that.
All right.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Creative, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so if you would like to join in the Shandy Word Watch Fun and have a chance to win a fantastic prize, then you must guess the number of times you predict Charles L. will utter the word or name Charles in episode 4. You must do so by commenting either below this YouTube video or over on the Instagram post for this recap. You must use the numeral of the number of times. So do not write out, for example, 6. You must use a 6. You must do so by this Monday at midnight. And you also, I've been forgetting this, you must be following us on Instagram and subscribed here on YouTube.
Yes.
This is a requirement. I don't think we're asking too much,
No.
frankly. If you guess correctly, you will be entered in a draw, and then one name will be plucked, and that person will win $200 to spend at another of our all-time favorite sponsors, Cozy Earth.
That'll be the best $200 you ever spent.
Oh, that's a good
Except
time.
for fast growing trees.
You could get some fantastic viscose from bamboo joggers like Andy's wearing right now. You could get some viscose from bamboo bed sheets, our bed sheets.
Towels.
Pillows, pillowcases.
Snuggle blankets.
Cuddle blankets.
Oh, cuddle. Same thing.
Their stuff is amazing. We have, honestly, an embarrassing amount of Cozy Earth stuff now in the house.
Yes.
It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's soft, durable, temperature regulating. Okay, all right. Anyway,
Yeah,
you get the point.
We could go on.
It's a good time. So, yeah, guess.
Yes.
Join in the fun.
Do it.
Okay, Andy, it is now time for our predictions. We have been struggling with our predictions. And we haven't spoken about them. We're keeping true to that. But in case anyone is wondering, before we got recording today, I was like, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
No idea. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever known less than I know this season. Joan is so hard to read.
Impossible.
And I still don't know what she's looking for. So, okay.
We really have to do this? Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then a name. Any name. Let's just throw out a name. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Keith.
Dan. Oh.
Damn. That's a
So you
ballsy call.
you're keeping Keith at the top.
Yeah, are you gonna? I disagree with myself as much as I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I almost kept Keith in that spot. We didn't see almost anything with Keith last week. Then this week, we know he's getting a one-on-one, but that bit of one-on-one time shown between them, I don't know. The way she looked at him felt like she had lost it. But
or maybe they're trying to produce it that way.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
totally possible. Okay, so you have Keith. I have Dan. I honestly, I have zero.
Damn, that's a bold call.
Is it?
Bold.
You think?
Throw him in the top spot right away? Oh, I'm impressed.
To be honest, I want Chalk to be in my top spot, but that goddamn preview.
I know. But maybe they had to give that to us.
Maybe he leaves and comes back.
This is
exhausting. I don't know. Okay, so a second spot. Okay.
1 second. Go.
1, 2, 3.
Pascal.
Jonathan. Oh, Pascal.
No, I'm feeling it.
Oh, you are?
I'm feeling it.
Okay. I really feel it with Jonathan in this one.
Yeah, I feel it with him too.
For me, I'm worried that with Jonathan, it brings out a little too much of the caretaker in her that she talks about. And who knows, maybe that is a good thing. But even how his date became about her like comforting him and building him up, I'm worried about like that's too much like a glove that fits too well, and it's not bringing out her like, I don't know, sexy side. I don't know. But you're right. I'm making an argument for Pascal right now.
Yeah.
But I do think that she really loves Jonathan's vulnerability. But Pascal was also vulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And rich.
Okay. Third place.
Oh, God. We're so awful.
1, 2. Hold on.
Oh, God. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Guy. Ooh.
Oh, Guy is staying
Found
at
common
third.
ground at third.
Okay,
Yeah,
Guy
okay.
hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I see romance.
I don't see it either, but I
He's
feel like
still
it's
the
coming.
package.
I feel like it's coming.
Yes, he's Guy.
She
He's
hasn't
the
seen
guy.
it yet. She hasn't seen it yet.
Also, I just love Guy. If we kept the Who We Would Go For segment,
yeah.
which apparently people want. People always want Who We Would Go For.
Oh, that's true.
Should we keep Who We Would Go For?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a little difficult for me, but yeah, let's do it.
Is it?
I mean,
Well, apparently you'd go for Pascal.
trying to. Thanks, Ed.
I would go for Guy. I want to go for the guy that sings Kim's song with him. That is a nice guy. That is a good guy. He has soul.
Yeah.
He didn't let Kim flounder on his own. Like that just spoke volumes for me. Oh, anyway, I just fell in love with Guy when he did that. Okay, so we both have Guy in third. How great. Okay, and then finally in fourth. 1, 2, 3. Chalk.
Jonathan Danchuk.
Okay, let's keep with our tradition for this season and just put the other guys all in fourth.
Yeah.
Because I want an easy life.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chalk, I feel like there's a very good chance he leaves, but I also think there's a chance he comes back. I just don't want to be completely swayed by a preview, but that preview is throwing me. Yeah. And part of me is like, oh no, it can't be true. But then when I think back to even my season, like they kept previewing me leaving. And I did leave.
And you did.
Yeah, I did indeed leave. Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. That's a wrap, Andy. I'm the predictions this season is stressing me out. Usually it's the fun part. Now I get
usually
stressed.
the fun part.
Yes.
We usually feel really confident, even when we're completely wrong.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Instead, I hate it. I hate predictions.
I don't look forward to it. I was actually dreading it.
I
was dreading it like 10 minutes ago.
Me too. Should we replace predictions this season with Who We Would Go For?
I think that's a little unfair to me.
Okay, well, that's a wrap. If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify,
podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
All right, wait a minute. Oh, and one last time for all of you stuck around for you know who. Leave us reviews.
Oh yes.
Like,
Apple.
subscribe.
Apple podcast reviews.
Please.
Yes. Okay.
We're bad at this.
Okay.
Help us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruby.
No. Oh, God.
Ruby.
Come on, right here. Go ahead.
Come on.
Yeah, you want it. Go ahead. Come
No,
on,
come to mommy.
Up here.
Come to mommy. Yes. Oh.
You know, I think this is unfair.
What do you mean?
I think this chair is not a good situation for her.
I think it's your bony legs. Oh.
Huh?
Oh, she knew you were sad. Oh, she's so intuitive.
I know.
She knows
She
things.
knows.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning
knows
in,
how
and we'll
needy I am.
see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye. Dear Shandy.